Hello, welcome back everyone. Let's just jump right into it. I want to discuss in this episode, because I've been thinking about the last few weeks and I've been wanting to create a discussion about this, is your birth card year, right? This is a major arcana card archetype that represents your year. And the way that you determine, or the way that you figure out what archetype card, again, only with the majors, that you will be working with for your birth year is you add your month, your date, your birth date, and the current year. Okay? And you add those numbers together, and if they go over 22, like if you get a 23 or if you get a 28, because it's only 22 cards, including the full, which is 0, but it is part of the pack. If you get those numbers like 24, 26, anything past 22, reduce those numbers down. So if you get 26, 2 and 6 would be 8. So that would be your card associated, depending on your perspective, either with strength, or in this case here, because I'm working with the Tabula Mundi, this is strength or lust. This could be either 8 or 11, or justice or adjustment, and this could be either 8 or 11 for you. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this because my birth card this year actually falls between one of these two cards. I'm either going to take the road of lust, strength, personal empowerment, or balance, harmony, getting to the core of things for this year, or for justice, adjustment. And so when I was getting ready and laying these cards out, I was thinking, about 3 years ago was the last time I had an 8 or 11. And that was during the pandemic. That was 2021. That was either an 8 or 11 year. And I believe in one of my videos, whether I saved it or not, I don't know, I think I made mention of using that as a strength year, as an 8 year. Instead of 11. And I started thinking, okay, we are in lockdown, and yes, we need strength. There's that aspect of just, pulling through this and finding our own sense of, moving through this the best way possible. But then I started thinking, you know what? This feels more of a justice year. Okay? And so that year, thinking about it and the way things were happening at this time, that was more, I felt that was more aligned to justice. We were trying to, we being the global state of things, we were trying to balance things out and be more accommodating with things, making adjustments, sacrificing some things to, get through some other situations. And so, again, while creating this video and putting these cards together, that was definitely more of an adjustment justice year. So this year I'm going to go and work with the energy of lust or strength, and use that as my archetype. Now, the reason why I have all these cards here is I wanted to fall into the habit of, with the Tabula Mundi, is finding the planet and sign association with each of these cards. Okay, so during that adjustment year of 2021, we're looking at Libra, and Libra is ruled by Venus. Here's our symbol for Venus. Okay, but here's something different. Visually, I did not have this deck back then. So this deck I've been working with for about 2 months, and just going through each of the cards. And you know, when you get a new deck, especially a deck that has so much information, you're going to have to go through it a few times. So this is still a deck that we're growing to know each other, and for me to see a different perspective of, you know, how I normally work with the tarot and applying it with this. So I'm not going to talk too much about the Libra, the adjustment aspects, because again, that was about 3 years ago. The Fortune card, this was the card, my archetype card that I had for last year. So from 2023 to 2024 of my birth date, and that's the, I feel ideally that's the time to work with these archetypes. It is your birth date, so work with that energy for that year, from your birth year of this year into the next year. Okay, and so what's fascinating here is with Fortune, it's ruled by Jupiter. And I'm not going to talk too much about Sagittarius and Pisces, which are two of the signs that has Jupiter in their placements or as their rulership. But what I want to talk a little bit is the transition of my previous card, the archetype of Fortune, and moving into Strength, because these two actually work very well together in lieu of my year last year. Okay, I got this card on my birthday, 2023. This card deals more with karmic energy, things of your past, how it's shaped you, how it's influenced you, choices that you've made, actions, so on and so forth, to where you are at this point. There are different symbols and energies here. This is one of the more iconic imageries of this deck, is where we have this serpentine hand with a feather, like writing your destiny in a sense. And we have the owl for wisdom. But what was fascinating for me is a few months after the birthday, this Wheel of Fortune took a different direction, and that had to deal with my father. And he passed away. And this card, I feel in hindsight, the Fortune wasn't abundance, wasn't inheritance, like material wise, but with the fortune that I gained from that time, my father being ill and going through that whole process, was almost something ancestral. Okay, what have we inherited? What did we gain from these influences? My mom's not around anymore as well, so no longer having parents, and my father passing away. This wheel of fortune is more about the influence that I had. That what did I gain from my parents? What did I learn? How did they shape me? What was the environment? What were their influences? How did it influence me? Choices that I've made to where I am at that moment. And this is where the abundance comes in. It's just that awakening, that puzzle of life that we have. Now the pieces are starting to move in a different direction. And so that's what I felt the Wheel of Fortune came for me for last year, was just that, what did I gain? You know, what did I inherit, in a sense, through my parents? Okay, really thinking a lot about my father. I'm recording this a few days before we go into the weekend of Father's Day. It's going to be interesting because I'm always used to calling him and that's not going to be the case this year. So this is just, it's like a moment of reflection, but again, seeing these influences, the patterns that we've had, how they've shaped us to where we are. Okay, so that was for 2023, for my birthday of May 2023 to May of this year. So it's very cyclical, okay, because I went through different stages for my father's passing and some other shifts that were taking place, and moving and growing and releasing and acknowledging some stuff that still I have to work on. This is part of the whole cycle. Now we move into this year. Okay, my birthday was a few weeks ago in May, and so now I'm working with the card of lust, of strength, of empowerment, of personal control, taking charge of who you are as an individual when it comes to you know, what's going to happen in the time to come. So this fortune card, in a sense, I feel it's like this. Anything that I've gained, anything that I've learned from my previous year is going to be applied to this year. And so I'm really big on signs and omens. So when you're working with your archetype card, be mindful of that. Be mindful of things that you are seeing that seem to be reoccurring, whether it's good or bad. Be mindful of that, okay? Because these are things that you need to pay attention to address what's happening and to learn from it, to understand it, maybe to let go of it, and to create more space to allow the things that you need to bring into yourself to make you who you are. Okay? So this card, when I look at this, I mean, there's a lot happening here. We have the lemon scap. We have it here, and we also have it here, the Ouroboros. We have the sun, almost like the Rosicrucian colors that we see there with the sun, the red, the yellow, the green, the blue, all these energies merging, being put to work. And of course, the beloved rose of beauty, of health. But here, one thing that M.M. Moline mentions about is the hand holding the tail. The tail here, for me, when looking at this card, I feel can almost be the Achilles tendon of this lion, or maybe grabbing the attention of this energy, and how it's also wrapping around. It's becoming like a snake, and then this energy is moving upward. So it's keeping the flow. It's keeping this energy going. It's ruled by Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun sign. So again, here with the adjustment card, it's ruled by Libra. It's best through, especially working with this deck, but if you're doing any decan work, to bring out the planetary influence of that sign. So here we have, for justice or adjustment, it's our symbol for Libra. Libra is ruled by the planet Venus. Okay, we have the Empress. Natural beauty coming from the heart. There's much detail that goes into the meaning of this card. We have the heart with a door, like the doorway to your heart. And we have an exploded view of this here on the lower corner. And we have the bee for fertility, for doing the work. We have wings coming out. We have the stars here on her scarf, phases of the moon. This is doing the work, but the work that is being of benefit to that individual and or to the sign. So we're harmonizing things here, and it's coming all from the heart. I'm going to bring this up closer. I don't know if it's going to adjust. There we go. We see the heart in a different form. We see the transformation of this heart. And then we have the eye. Seeing with your heart. Okay, as an example. So here, for me this year, so we have 11. I'm gonna skip a little bit here. I could add the 1 and 1 together to make it 2, which would give us the priestess. Okay, and so we have solar energy here, the ruling luminary for this card of lust or strength. The sign of Leo is the sun, but here we have the energy of the moon. And I feel that I will probably work with these two placements because it's masculine and feminine energy. And this is where we're working with the strength card. It shows more of a masculine, strong energy because we're taking charge and we're developing things and we're seeing the results of it. So there is this sense of maybe ego confidence, but just it's natural. It's like, this is where I am and this is where I need to be. But here, this is our external, right? We have the sun and all its blazing glory, but also here, I like here we have the 2 snakes. Now, if you look carefully, I'm going to move really a little bit closer. We have the 2 other fire signs, the snake tongue. On our left, we have Aries, and then on our right, we have the arrow representing Sagittarius. And I didn't see it immediately, but when I was reading about the breakdown of this card, I'm like, that's brilliant. Incorporate those 2 fire signs into the snake tongue, the movement of it. Snakes smell through their tongue, so it's a form of connecting to their environment, but with the element and the influence of Aries and Sagittarius, I thought that was quite brilliant. So we have a lot of power here. Okay, vitality, the lemon scat again. We have the 8, the energy of these signs becoming very strong and complementary to each other, but also, some challenges in how to work with these things. That's external, but then here we have the internal. Okay, pomegranate is life. It's I love pomegranate seeds around the fall. I eat so much of these. It's a wonderful treat for me. But it's also representing the feelings of the heart, how we're connecting at a deeper level. We have the phases of the moon here, a crescent, and then also we have the sun. So we have masculine, feminine energy, and I like the movement. The priestess here is clearly enveloped with the feelings and emotions of what's going on. But this goes at a deeper level. So with this card right now, I'm going to move this over here. We'll focus on this. So with this energy here, I did a reading for a young lady the other day, and I was saying a lot of the energy of how we are outside is reflective of what's going on inside, right? We hear the you are a reflection of yourself, and this is going to hold really true for this year. Okay, because I feel there's going to be a strong connection, a strong balance of how I'm feeling inside is going to be representing outside. So I have to do diligence with these 3 cards, working with these energies. I feel more I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be connecting more with this because sidereally I'm double water. I have double water signs. And so this is very important for me. And it's also a continuation of doing the work of last year. The cycle, continuing the cycle of changes, of growth. And then this energy starts showing up in an external realm. It's bright, it's secure, it's showing strength, desire, creativity. And as I'm talking to you right now, I like this placement. I like moving the priestess here and putting the sun here. This is what I will be working on internally while still maintaining this influence of Leo. It's what's going on inside. Okay, this is our external. It's what's happening inside. This is the priestess energy. And this is the external. Okay. So it's going to be very interesting. Like each year when you do tarot cards, we're also this is also an 8-year, 2024. You add those numbers together, it comes to 8. 8 is a power number. It is a power number relating to wealth and also to strength. It has, the number 8 has no association unless you want to, specifically to the tarot. But if you happen to be in a true 8-year, like for justice, you can use that energy or that number to influence the justice aspect, the balance, the harmony for that year, if you are a Libra or justice year card. So I'm gonna stick with this and reflect on it, you know, throughout the year between now and next year for the next soul return, because next year is going to be interesting, because once I come out the 11th card of strength or lust, I move into the Hanged Man, and that's ruled by Neptune. So everything that's external, everything that is very self-empowering and vitality, everything external is not going to be moving internal. So you know, we go through these major arcana archetypes at various stages, and I think it's really good to log it down, you know, see from previous years, you know, the year that was a 2-year, the year that was an 8-year. If the number comes up again, you know, reflect on it. When was the last time you had an 11? You know, go back a couple of years and see exactly what was going on. You don't necessarily will be going in sequence for your year card, your birth year card, because depending on your birth number, your birth month, the birth date, and our current year, the numbers may change, so you may find yourself maybe going back. And I had that happen probably about 10 years ago, where I was in order and then all of a sudden I went back a few cards. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're falling back a few steps, it's just the sequence of the year and your birth date. So again, you just add up your birth month, birth date, and the current year to determine what is your year card. Okay, so this is for me, and what I want to do here in closing is, I've been doing this for myself when I do readings for myself. I've been doing readings where I'm picking or having the guidance of the elements, the suits of each of the cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select, I'm going to shuffle, but once I've shuffled each of these cards, I'm going to pull one card to represent the energy of the wands, one card for cups, swords, and discs. Okay, and this will include the court cards. I've also been breaking down the court cards separately, especially when you start working with the decans. The court cards have their own their own association within the minor arcana. Excuse me. So, okay, so I'm shuffling these here. I want to center. I want to do it like this. Okay, so this ring is going to be just more or less for now. As I've been talking about this, let's just see where the guides are. Okay, so I want to shuffle this very quickly, and I'd like to get feedback from you. For those of you who have already had a birthday, what is your card? What is your birth year card for 2024? And look at your card for the previous year, and also maybe for the card that's coming up in the next year. Just to see, you know, don't get so wound up on next year's card, because the focus of the energy should be where we are at this moment. Okay, so let me know in the comments. I'm sorry if I keep tapping the camera stand. Okay, that's our swords energy, and then this is discs. Also, I put a community post on my channel. M.M. Moline, the creator of the Tabula Mundi Tarot, she is getting ready. It'll probably take place next week. She's going to be doing a Kickstarter for a brand new deck. The deck she's been working on for 4 years. And if you look at my community post, you'll see it, but it's called the Telos, T-E-L-O-S, Tarot of 777. And so I know it's a big title, but what's special about this deck is, you know, with the tarot, we have the journey of the Fool through the major arcana and the experiences that it encounters through the suits of the minor arcana. But what's unique with this deck is she's taking the decans, you know, the decans that represent the minor arcana, with the signs and planets, and she's created a deck where the story of that deck, the Telos Tarot, is through the decans. And I'm happy to see that people have been working with the decans in recent years. And we're starting to see slowly some decks that are incorporating that decan energy. So the decans are basically, each minor arcana is assigned a sign and a planet. And depending on which deck, Hebrew letter like we have here for the Empress. But here she's created this deck where we're going through all the suits, all the fire signs, earth, water, and swords, or air signs, and she's going to let those elements be created through a story, but using the energy of the decans, which is going to be pretty amazing. So I believe right now, Western astrology, we are in the middle of Taurus sidereally, but Western, we're getting ready to go into Cancer. So we are going into, I think we are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think we could be in, I think we could be in the 10 of air. I want to double check this really quick. 10 of Swords for Western astrology. So through the Golden Dawn system, the decans, and through the Doth system, June 10th, 11th to June 20th, 21st is Gemini 3, and that's ruled by the 10 of Swords. I don't want to go into this and breaking it down, but with Taurus, because we're with sidereal, with Taurus, we are more than likely in the seventh, the number 7 of Pentacles, which represents the last decan of Taurus for this time frame. Okay, if you have any questions about this, you can tell me. It's something that I've talked about in past videos. It's fascinating. There's a lot to learn from it. Okay, so I was buying time. One more shuffle here. Okay, so I'm going to just pull one card from each. It's one of the most photogenic, videogenic decks to work with. I guess we have the holograph on the back, and the colors are just amazing. Okay, let's wrap this up. Let's see what this reading is going to hold for us as I drop my cap for water. Okay. Okay, for strength for May 2024. Okay. I got Fire of Fire, Knight of Wands. I'm just going to pick from the top. Okay, this is the deck in here. We have Cancer in the sign, or in the planet of Mercury. Okay, 10 of Swords. This is where we are right now, Western astrology. Sun and Gemini. Ruin. This came up. This was one of the cards that came up for my birth reading. My birthday reading. Oh, you stinker. Okay, 5 of Discs, Taurus, ruled it by Mercury. This is actually one of my placements in my chart. Alrighty, I get it. This does hold pretty direct, intense energy, somewhat similar to the Thoth deck. Because some people, when they read with that deck, it's pretty intense, and it's just like, oh my God, really? Why does it have to be like this? So I'm fine with this. So this energy here with Leo, we're seeing challenges here, especially towards the end. But I got the Knight of Wands, Fire of Fire, which is ruled by Sagittarius. Okay, I'm going to hold this up really quick. It's a lot of movement. A lot of movement. Lightning. Wow, a lot of movement. I did a reading for myself recently, and I got the Tower card from this deck. Okay, Knight of Wands. But this is more, we have abundance here. Mercury and Cancer, and we're actually going to be in this placement in a few weeks. And this will be a wonderful time just to connect, like, with emotional, our feelings about certain things where we are right now. It's a bit of conflict because Mercury is the mind, the intellect. We communicate in this level, but here the communication is going to be coming more in an emotional way. How we feel about things. This card here would probably be something where I'll be speaking more from the heart at this time. And also, just to point out, here we have the lotus in the center, but we also have the stages of the moon. Okay, we have our last and first quarter phases, and then we have the full moon. We are moving in the direction of the full moon. I believe by next week when we hit summer solstice. All right, what do I have to say about Ten of Swords? Okay. This is the end. So I had to take a few minutes just to, like, really assess this, because we have swords that are, like, right through the heads of the snake here. The snake is also a powerful energy, and I was speaking to the woman that I mentioned to earlier that I did a reading with. She had a fear of snakes because one of the cards I pulled for her had some snakes in it. And we talked a little bit about that energy. But this is the end of a certain kind of energy that just has not been of benefit. You know, it's when you get the 10, it's already, 9s are basically the end. The 10 is how we are going to now start from the situation. We see this as, it could be a sunset or sunrise. I'm taking this more of a sunrise because this is the end of this energy. And as hard and as ominous, you know, it's almost like a blood-colored horizon here, but then it starts lightening up. These are changes that we need to make. We have 8 swords that are right into this Orphic egg, the egg of life, the egg of that represents changes. But what I see here are growth. But what I'm seeing here is these swords are things that are self-perpetuated, and we're actually destroying the potential. This is a card where things have happened in a way because we allowed it and we shaped it into this direction, and this is going to stop. No more of this. Okay, 5 of discs, worry. The 5s are always, especially with the pentacles, we're seeing energy that just wasn't used properly, or maybe misused. And at this point with this card, we need to see, using this energy of creativity and vitality, this is going to supersede all of this. Okay, this is going to be the guide. Our card of strength is going to walk us through this. The card of the priestess is going to work through these energies. The card of the sun, which is our outlying force, we're going to move through this. Okay, and I feel the benefit of these cards will help us move through any situations that may arise between now and next year, in a way that won't be as difficult. It won't be as challenging. We've gone through losses, we've gone through hurt. Hopefully most of us have learned the lessons and know how to move through these situations with this kind of energy. I'm not saying that it's something to be proud about that we see here. That's not the purpose of this card. This is of moving through with it, through these situations in a very clear manner. Okay, and and knowing that we can do this because we're trusting our instincts, how we're feeling about certain things regarding these cards here. The Knight of Fire, our Knight of Wands here, the Sun. This is going to be our light to work through this. So always check in if things are feeling more on the darker side and it's like, oh boy, I feel like I'm going down a downward spiral. Let's start going back to this. Okay, that's me having a conversation with myself for anything that may come up ahead. All right, okay, so there you have it. So tell me about your year card. What's your year card this year? What are the cards that you're pulling? If you have this deck, maybe work with this deck. Remember those numbers. Anything past 22, if it's a 23 and upward, reduce those numbers down. If you get double numbers like 10 through 22, reduce those numbers. Okay, if you get a 22, that can relate to the Emperor. And so what you do is you pull out the Emperor card. The Emperor is ruled by Mars and also the sign of Aries. So if you have a deck that has the planets assigned to it, you may want to pull out that planetary ruler of Aries. That will probably be the Tower card, a Tower and the Emperor. Okay. So let me know in the comments, okay? I will be back again. I want to share this with you. Obviously, I had a lot of a lot of thoughts that came through with this. So thank you for listening. And let's exchange some thoughts about this. I really like to know what cards you have for this year, and also keep in mind, what was your previous card? What did you learn from your previous year to where you are right now? And you can maybe take a peek into next year's, but don't focus so much on that energy. Let's work on the cards right now, your archetype for your year this year and the previous year, because we want to see if there's any patterns, any shifts that may have happened. All right, thank you everyone for watching this. It's been fun to record this. I have more stuff planning up ahead. It's just a matter of me getting the time and the inspiration to create all this. Okay, so I will be back again soon. Let people know about this channel, like, subscribe. I'm on Instagram. I do readings. I have all of that. All that's listed in the description. All right. I'll say about doing something for solstice. Okay, maybe a live, doing some readings and just chatting with some people. Okay. Have a wonderful week, everyone. And happy birthday to all Tauruses that are in this last week, or for Western astrology, for Gemini, which starts later on this week on the, I think it's on the, not the 14th, on the, I gotta take a peek. Well, we're moving to Cancer next week on the 21st. So anyone who is Gemini until the 21st, happy birthday to Geminis and Taurus. All right, have a great one, everyone.